So last week we had up in Yorkshire, we had what was called the Great North Conference, and it's held roughly every year. And the idea is it's a celebration of everything north. All the businesses come together and discuss their problems. They got all the MPs together to try and find solutions. Not surprisingly, you'd be interested to learn. As far as I'm aware, not a single Tory MP actually turned up to the conference. As far as I'm aware, there may have been one or two slip in, but as far as I'm aware, there weren't any panel discussions with them or anything like that. But there you go. But one of the things that Boris talked about was the fact of his levelling up agenda. He wanted to level the North up and build back better. But how can the North be built back better when Boris is not only not putting any new money into the North, he is taking other projects and just moving money about. So the money that the North has got to, quote, level up is just money that already existed for similar projects. It's just had a new label slapped on it, essentially. It's the same money, just a new label. And this just goes once again to show how just little Boris and co care about the North. And this is why all these Conservative new MPs, these red wall Conservatives, are just going to get absolutely toppled at the next election, because they can't justify the recent goings on and the absolute failure that Boris and the Conservatives have done over the pandemic, let alone what's going to happen next year. And whew, boy, next year, I'll tell you now, it is going to come thick and fast next year, and there ain't going to be any hiding from it. The realities of Brexit, they can no longer hide behind the fantasies. That's definitely one thing they won't be able to hide behind. But Dan Jarvis got up and did quite a good speech, which we're going to go through here from the reported on by the Yorkshire Post. And Boris made big promises about he was going to level up the North. Well, as Dan Jarvis has been saying for a while now, Boris, it's time you actually delivered on that promise. So here we go. This comes from the Yorkshire Post, and its title of the article is "Boris Johnson has just weeks to save its levelling up agenda, Dan Jarvis tells the Great Northern Conference." In a keynote speech at the Great Northern Conference on the 22nd of October in the Sheffield City region, Dan Jarvis will say that the handling of local lockdowns in the North has damaged trust and confidence in the government's ability to deliver on its manifesto commitment. The economic fallout from the pandemic will level down regions like South Yorkshire, setting them back decades and facing an unemployment crisis not seen since the closure of the coalfields. And can absolutely just 100% agree to that. We're going to see unemployment numbers next year in levels we just haven't seen for decades. It's going to be shocking. It really is. Anyway, it continues. Mr. Jarvis, who is also the Barnsley MP, warns that divisions and dissatisfaction will widen among the public if the government fails to address underlying economic and social inequities, which have become exasperated by COVID. The Treasury must deliver substantial investment at the Comprehensive Spending Review if it is to level up, if its levelling up promises are to remain meaningful, he says. Mr. Jarvis is giving a pre-recorded speech at the start of the event organised by the Yorkshire Post in conjunction with the Northern Powerhouse Partnership, which is still going, which will also feature speeches by Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Transport Secretary Grant Shapps. It comes after Mr. Jarvis agreed a deal with the government which will see Sheffield City region placed into Tier 3 coronavirus restrictions. He and council leaders in the region were able to secure 41 million support package from the government, but the talks were described by one leader as a complete charade. And they actually were. This entire package results to the people of Yorkshire to try and essentially defend your livelihoods, as literally, I think it's like what, £2, like 95 pence or something like that. I did a post about it earlier this week, but yeah, it's nothing in the scheme of things. It's absolutely nothing. And Boris Johnson claimed at Prime Minister's question, and other Tory ministers have claimed that apparently the UK was the most generous country during this pandemic. It absolutely wasn't. We are behind many other countries who have done far more to help support working people and businesses in their country. So anyway, he will say in his speech, "The moment to act is now, because the credibility of the government is on the line. The handling of the pandemic was already dented public trust. We need the government to tackle COVID effectively and collaboratively, and in a way in which recognises and actively counters the disproportionate impact it is having on disadvantaged areas on the north in particular. But the unfortunate reality is that some of their policies, like the failure to fund test and trace and the chaos over lockdown, the inadequacy of support for people and companies affected by them, threaten not only to prolong the struggle against COVID, but to exaggerate its already unequal impact. And these mistakes have not gone unnoticed. As the pollster Deborah Midson tells us, Northerners disproportionately feel that the areas under lockdown are being treated unfairly. Across the region, trust is corroding, optimism is failing, divisions are widening. This weakening of confidence inevitably leads to bleeds in other areas. Almost 70% of Northerners believe that their area gets less resources than others. Over 2/3 of them believe that the government will not follow through on its promise to level up. All of us have a common interest in proving them wrong. We can do that, but it needs the government to act, and it has a very small window of opportunity. That opportunity is the comprehensive spending review. This is where the government can show what they are putting their money, that they can show where they're putting their money where their mouth is. But the CRS is due to be completed in a matter of weeks. The clock is truly running down on levelling up the north. The CSR is critical because levelling up will only mean something when it is backed with real investment. The government confirmed this week that it is scrapping a planned multi-year spending review and instead holding a one-year review at the end of November. Chancellor Rishi Sunak said that the decision was taken to prioritise the response to COVID-19 and focus on supporting jobs, setting department resources and capital budgets for 2021 to 22, and the devolved administration's block grants for the same period. Funding for the NHS and schools will remain multi-year, along with a priority for infrastructure projects. The government has a keen and open mind on scrapping the multi-year spending review, but has come under pressure from economists in recent months who pointed out that the uncertainty of the pandemic meant longer-term spending targets would prove difficult. And there you have it. Once again, the North is getting the shaft, but this is not surprising. The government just really doesn't care about the North. Best thing, what I think we need to do, is generally the North should start supporting Scottish independence and just start saying, hey, Scotland, do you want to take the North of England with you as well? That's definitely probably something we should probably look at. I, for one, would suddenly definitely start sporting the St. David's cross all of a sudden, if that meant leaving. However, I would definitely insist that the Scottish flag on that have a nice white rose, or the nice, shall we say, the Tudor rose, because it is the Yorkist and the Lancastrian roses put on together. So I think that would make a nice new flag for a truly independent Scotland and a new nation to emerge from this absolute nonsense, because we can just leave the Midlands and the South. But who knows? Maybe the Midlands will want to join us. Who knows? But who knows? It's all a big possible at this moment. Who knows? But anyway, thanks for watching. Please do hit that like and share button. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link should you like to support the channel in that way. And thank you to the people who do support me in that way. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time.